Welcome back, you lovely people. In today's video, I want to focus in on Ethereum, as Ethereum is currently retesting the all-time high for the fourth or fifth time and looking like it might be breaking out. So I wrote this tweet earlier today, and I'm very interested to see what happens next, and we'll make some short, medium, and longer term price targets for Ethereum. But I want to start just to close off the loop on silver, because that was yesterday's video, and I must also cover the capitulation that is currently happening in silver. So we're down essentially all of the gains that we made yesterday, we have lost today. And what does that mean for silver? Does it mean it's over? Was it a false break, false hope? Well, not necessarily. What it really shows us is more of the manipulation from the financial system, the existing financial system, from the banks, from the big bullion exchanges. And I like this tweet from Jake Ducey. When you look under the hood of the system, the majority of every career politician, news executive, bankers and Federal Reserve are a coordinated, well-oiled criminal enterprise. Mission is to make the rich richer, squash any investigations of financial fraud, and divide the masses. We've seen that on GameStop recently. We've just seen it on silver today. And this is one of the big drivers behind a lot of the fake news and misinformation that you're going to see about Bitcoin over this year as the price really starts to drive forwards. And what is happening in silver? Well, immediately this morning, you had JP Morgan announce that they are lowering their silver target and saying that it's over and silver's going to drop from here. So that means that they're trying to get all of their clients out of silver. You've also got I'm not going to bring the charts up because they're too technical, but you can see massive sell orders, short orders going in all over yesterday and this morning that are way bigger than anybody could ever expect to receive delivery of silver. And this is more clear market manipulation. I said yesterday that if you hear anything about banks and institutions standing to benefit from the price of silver going up, then that's complete nonsense. They want to keep it down. They profit from keeping it down. Governments benefit from keeping it down. And that's what we're seeing today. The price is being forced down. But yesterday was a ray of hope for everybody that believes in real assets and believes in governments and banks being held to account. And I believe it's just the beginning. Something that is held down for that long, like if you try and keep something inflatable underwater, eventually the pressure builds and it explodes. And it tried to yesterday. We've been forced back down. But when that break does finally come, then it may mean that something large is breaking in the financial system, which will have other consequences. However, it will mean that finally the people are winning and the price of real assets are being allowed to find their true value. And again, you're going to see similar in Bitcoin. I put a story out on my Instagram this morning showing that banks or hedge funds are short $1 billion in Bitcoin. And there is only so long that these banks and hedge funds can manipulate markets. And the time, in my opinion, is coming to an end. So if you're in silver, I would be patient, stay strong, know that we are in a silver bull market, regardless, however hard they try to keep it down. You can see the clear direction of travel for silver is up. And based on what's happened in previous cycles, 2011, 1979, I think we're about to have a huge breakout over the course of 2021. I've been saying for 6 months that I think silver is the second best trade out there, and I still firmly believe it. And the signal, if you need any more signal about the fact that gold and silver should be a lot higher than where they are already, then you can see things like this, which is news of massive buying from China. And I'm going to include a few links because I found them really interesting. Some documentaries about silver, particularly this story about the Hunt brothers, who basically are in the same situation that we're in now and cornered the market to try and force silver up to its real value. And it's an amazing story about regulators and exchanges jumping in to try and force them out of the market because they were about to lose in many different ways from that happening. So I'll include those links down below. I want to focus in on Ethereum. Here, finally, if you wanted any more clues about the media being involved in trying to create false narratives, then this headline from the Washington Post saying the good guys in the GameStop story are the hedge funds and short sellers is, of course, absolutely laughable. But I put this post out on Ethereum earlier today saying that it looks like we are about to break out. And ironically enough, during this video, it seems that that is what is happening. And when I started this video, Ethereum was up 4.5%. And you can see now that Ethereum looks like it is truly breaking out into all-time highs. I said on the video at the weekend that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 tests of the all-time high, and the 5th is often the lucky charm, and it does seem right now that that is what is happening. So Ethereum looking very bullish. Of course, Bitcoin looks great as well, up nearly 5%. In terms of price targets for Ethereum, and I want to caveat this with saying that my price targets for Bitcoin are based on deep technical and fundamental analysis and carry a lot more weight than anything which I say on Ethereum, and that's because the data isn't there on Ethereum. We don't have as many years of historical data. It doesn't follow the same sort of pattern as Bitcoin around the halving. I mean, it does somewhat, but not as closely as Bitcoin, of course, because it's the Bitcoin cycle. So take these targets with a pinch of salt, but at least it gives us something to aim at. And I mentioned a long-term, when I say long-term, end of 2021 target for Ethereum in a previous video of $14,000. To me, that still seems very logical. I think Bitcoin going up 8 times from here to just under 300,000, and therefore Ethereum up 10 times from here, $14,000 plus. That's my target for around September when we see the Bitcoin peak. And now, because we're breaking out from the all-time high, just wanted to focus in on the next couple of months. I noticed that what we've just experienced in Ethereum in trying to make its all-time high looks very similar to the Bitcoin breakout earlier this year. Bitcoin was going into its all-time high from 2017, and when we reached the all-time high, we had a pullback, and then that was the first attempt, second attempt, third attempt-ish, fourth attempt, and on the 5th attempt we broke through. And therefore I want to look at when we did have the breakout, and you can see that it was a really clear breakout. It was 10% up in a day, and Ethereum looks like it may do something similar today. So it's following a very similar pattern. can see from when that happened, Bitcoin went up, call it 115% in, let's say a month to be conservative. So if Ethereum confirms this breakout today, and I'll be looking for it to close above our resistance here. So the previous resistance was somewhere around 1400. Looks like we're going to close above that by a fair margin. So it looks like we're going to have a really, really clean breakout. And from that point on, if it's going to be around, we're about 1500 right now. And therefore I'll be looking for us to achieve some sort of price of around $3,000 over the next month or so. So $3,000 in the short term, $14,000 by September. They're our fun targets for Ethereum because I often get asked for them. And also the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is when Bitcoin or Ethereum or Chainlink or Polkadot has a massive breakout, then I get an influx of messages saying, is it too late to buy? And I was actually hoping to have this video out before this breakout, but it's happening right now. And I was going to say, I don't want all of those messages tomorrow morning when you wake up and Ethereum's up 10%. I want messages saying that you're fully positioned. And I know a lot of you are fully positioned now because we have been talking about Ethereum for a while. If you're not and you're about to ask me that question, then refer to the target that I just set, $14,000 by September. And that's a conservative target. So $1,500 looks very, very cheap to me. Whether we're up, even if we're up 10%, you know, it's a shame if you're not positioned, you didn't get the breakout. But I still look at Ethereum as extraordinarily cheap. I'd say must be the most undervalued crypto right now, given especially if you compare to Bitcoin making its all-time high last year and has since essentially doubled, and Ethereum is only making its all-time high right now. So lots of room to run. It'll be very, very exciting to see what happens next with Ethereum. And I've also been told to make sure that I mention, and I'm supposed to do it at the beginning of the video, but if you've made it this far, then please like this video because it goes a long way to making sure that other people see it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.